Closing yesterday.
So we just got ourselves some scratch cards. We better win. And here they are. I also really wanted to treat myself to a Lindor first Christmas coffee of the year. He brought the whole packet of bagels. I have some notes because I'm a paper and pen kind of gal, and I am ready to talk to you. Reverse dieting. What is it? Non-body fat, our bodies are starting to change. The perfect way to make cream of rice. Look it off because my dog will move back in. Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia and I am a bikini competitor, online coach and a bikini posing coach. And welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Off-Season series. So since being 8 weeks or 2 months, we can call it months now, post-show, I thought this would be the perfect time to take you along and show you how things have been looking. So I will bring you along with me for a full day of eating. And I'm going to sit down and explain to you how my reverse has went and what is reverse dieting in the first place, how I've gone about my reverse, the importance of reverse dieting after being in a bikini prep or a bodybuilding prep. So I will take you along for the day. I will show you my meals and then I will sit down at some point in this video. Don't know when, so you'll just have to stick around and watch and figure out. But I will sit down and explain to you all my protocols. I will talk about reverse dieting and I will give you some tips, some information, some advice to people that maybe want to know more about it or maybe struggling with the reverse, because we all know reversing out of a bodybuilding prep is very difficult. It's a lot more difficult than prep itself, hunger-wise, craving-wise. I'm going to talk about my weight gain after this show compared to my last shows and just how I'm dealing with the mental side of putting on weight, why it's necessary in the first place, and just how things have been looking. Ever since the show, I have been on a meal plan from my coach and I still am. However, obviously being so far out from the show and having a long way to another prep, there is that bit more flexibility now. I will show you how I maybe incorporate some things. I am going to town today to buy a bit of Christmas bits as I'm going on a little trip next week. I need to buy a few things and I've been really wanting to try some of the Costa Christmas coffees. So I will show you how I managed to maybe track that in. And yeah, so I will take you downstairs and I will show you everything. I've just spent this morning, it is Sunday by the way, meal prepping for the next few days, because I know I have a very busy start of the week coming up, so I just need to ensure I am prepared. So yeah, that is a big thing during this reverse, just staying prepared really, having my meals prepped so there is really no chance for me to go off track because my food is there, it's ready for me to just grab out of the fridge, put it together and eat it, and then I'm not even thinking about any other stuff. And I've also gotten my meals for today. I am going into town, so meal prep is coming with me. It is a weekend and as I said, I do have that bit more flexibility now. However, meals are still coming with me. I've treated this reverse very much like prep. So sticking to my meals, bringing them with me. And yeah, I won't bore you here any longer and I will put my first meal together and show you. I've got my first meal here with me, and as I said, I am on a meal plan, so this meal looks the same pretty much every day, whether it's a training day or a rest day. Now today is a rest day, I forgot to mention that. So as I said, obviously I am not as strict as I was on prep, but I'm still sticking to the same meals. However, I do like to sometimes switch things around, maybe have one thing instead of another, or maybe take things out of another meal and put it into a different meal. So that's exactly what I've done in this meal, because I have been on a halloumi hype. I actually have it in this meal. So literally every single day it is a bagel thin, 2 chicken or turkey rashers, 1 egg, veg. So I usually do the same. I just do cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms that are always air fried, just like my chicken rashers. And I've got some mustard that you would have seen and some of that lighter than light mayo. It has like 10 calories for a tablespoon and I literally only use like 2 grams here anyway, so it doesn't even need to be tracked. But as I've said, I have been on a halloumi hype. In my meal plan, I have 25 grams of mozzarella cheese in a different meal. So what I've done is I've just put it into my Fitness Pal. I put in 25 grams of mozzarella into my Fitness Pal, and then I put halloumi into my Fitness Pal and just put in amounts in grams until the macros were either the same or very similar. So it turned out to be 20 grams of halloumi. By the way, ignore the laundry in the background. We have somebody moving in soon and things in the house are just all over the place, so please ignore that. But yeah, so 20 grams of halloumi turned out to be the same as 25 grams of mozzarella, so I've just taken it out of that meal and put it into this one, and I have been absolutely loving it. So I'm going to eat this up. Also, you would have seen I'm taking glutamine, creatine and fruits and greens every morning. So I do that usually just before breakfast or before I leave the house if I'm going to work. And then I've also got my beautiful Superwoman pill box. And I just take my morning vitamins either at work, or I usually try to keep it with this meal because I don't want to be taking them before eating as that hurts my stomach. So we've just got some D3K2 multivitamin from Olymp, got some krill oil and iron because I know I'm a bit deficient in iron after getting my bloods done, so I ensure to take a serving of it every single day. Now usually I also have some vitamin C gummies in here, but I think I ran out, so I need to get more. So I'm quickly going to eat this meal up and you will see me in town where I will show you kind of, you know, today's a good day because I'm eating some meals at home, some meals I have to bring with me, so you'll see how I go about that. And as I said, I'll be having a little treat in town, so I will show you how I track that in, how I go about it. So now it is time for me to go, and I will see you in town.
Oh, I was here yesterday. I give 2 girls your info on. Concentration.
Now, it was a little loud there, so I thought I'd do a voiceover. So here's my meal that I'm bringing with me. We've got rice, chicken, beans, and nut butter sweetened with cinnamon. Then I've got my Americano and my hack. Hot coconut milk that I get on the side, and I just pour a little bit in, especially the foam, myself. So that saves me a lot of calories versus a latte. Obviously, John has his latte. He can't go without it. And he's also got some chicken, rice, and nut butter. And that's us. So we just got ourselves some scratch cards. We better win because I just had a mental breakdown about being broke. Okay, moment of truth. I can win either €40 or €200.
Very like the occulted.
No comment. Okay, we can win a $5. Come on, give me a $5. I need a $5. I want a $5. Here are the meal prep boxes. Tada!
It's rigged.
No, last one.
You got me the bad one.
No. Me? At least I got you one. Now, so they did have my festive coffees here, so I will get one later because I am showing it to you people. But yeah, so pit stop done. Now we keep shopping. After a long day in town, we finally made it to Costa, and I am about to get my Christmas coffee, the first one of the year, and I will explain how I managed to fit it into my macros. And here they are! I've got my gingerbread and cream. John has got a Terry's chocolate orange, and we've got 2 Lindors. And obviously, as true bodybuilders that we are, we have got our meals everywhere we go. Now, so as I've said before, I am on a meal plan, but I have that bit more flexibility. So I've actually managed to track this into my macros roughly. Now, I do have an off-plan meal once a week if I want to have one. However, this week I'm not having one because of the trip that I'm planning, so I only roughly track this in. So what I did was I got the gingerbread and cream latte, and I've actually went into my MyFitnessPal and I found the calories for the gingerbread man, and I just tracked it in. And I also really wanted to treat myself to a Lindor. So I have 20 grams of salted caramel dark chocolate in my last meal, so I just went in, switched the macros around, and I'm only having 5 grams of chocolate, so I could have this. Now, I didn't track the actual coffee itself, like the milk and the cream, because as I said, I could have an off-plan meal this weekend, and since I'm not having one, this could be my off-plan, but it'll only be like, what, 120 calories anyway. And the syrup, because it is a gingerbread latte, obviously has syrup in it, but instead of getting the regular one, I just got sugar-free, which has barely any calories, so it doesn't need to be tracked in. So that is how I went about tracking this whole thing into my macros. And alongside it, I've just got my usual chicken, sweet potatoes, green beans, some peppers there underneath, and I can still enjoy my treat. So we are going to eat this up and then head back home, and I will sit down and chat to you guys about everything that has been going on and what is reverse dieting, the importance of it, and yeah, I will see you at home for that, so please stay tuned. Let's do a taste test of the first Christmas coffee of the year. So good. So my go-to coffee every day is just a black Americano with some occasional coconut milk. So this is really a treat to me. This is why instead of having an off-plan meal, I was actually craving something like this. It's because I don't actually have it on the daily, so it's still a very nice treat, especially around this time. And with this weather outside, it was needed. So this is how John meal preps on the go. He's got his cream cheese, his chicken, he brought the whole packet of bagels. How's that, babe?
Stop.
And do you want to try your Terry's chocolate orange, or are you saving it?
Saving it.
Okay, we'll get a taste test off him later. I love these. Absolutely demolished in 0.5 seconds. How's that?
Amazing.
Welcome back to my pink chair. It's been a while since I've been sat in it, so let me get comfortable. I've got Bambi here with me. I've got my big bottle of water, and I have some notes because I'm a paper and pen kind of gal, and I am ready to talk to you about post-show, reverse dieting, gaining weight, and everything else. So first things first, reverse dieting. What is it? There's different ways of coming out of a bodybuilding prep. You know, you have to be very careful because your body is just so sensitive after being dieted for so long. So the approach we took was something called reverse dieting. We mean gradually bringing your calories back up and slowly decreasing cardio. Now, why do we do that gradually? Keep in mind, in a bodybuilding prep, you are not jumping straight into eating like 1,000 calories. You are slowly, let's say week by week, or sometimes twice a week, but let's say week by week, you start bringing your calories further down and down and down, and the cardio just keeps creeping up. So we don't want to shock our bodies after a show by suddenly giving it a load of food and just cutting out cardio, because as I said, it'll just shock the body. Let the body adjust to every change before we make any other changes. So that is exactly what we did. So after the show, obviously the day after, I got a bit of time to enjoy some food, which you would have seen in my previous vlogs. But I literally only gave myself a day of that, and then it was straight back on plan because I knew myself that if I didn't have a plan to fall back on straight afterwards, I probably would have messed up like I did last year. Last year I gave myself a whole week off and it just set me up for such a bad start that I just struggled to get back on track. Whereas this time around, my coach and I actually physically together in his hotel room the night before the show, we sat down and we created a meal plan that I could follow straight away after getting back home from competing. But as I said, obviously the calories are being brought up gradually. However, we did have a major little jump at the very start, just because I know some people gradually bring their calories back up from what they were eating already during prep, but keep in mind those calories are very, very low usually towards the end of prep. And by bringing them up very slowly from that set point, you're still in a deficit. And our goal is to get out of that deficit. So what we did is we had a major like 500-600 calorie spike first of all. And we just let the body settle, just adjust to that food before making any other changes. So obviously we initially had that spike in weight because keep in mind, we introduced new foods, we introduced a bigger amount of carbohydrates, so obviously the body was holding on to a bit of water. Now I know this can scare a lot of people, seeing that big jump in weight, but if you just hold it out and if you stick to those macros that you were given, the body will settle and it will start falling back down because it'll notice you're not starving it anymore and it doesn't have to hold on to everything you give it. So this brings me as well back to the importance of doing everything gradually and step by step. Your body after competing, after finishing a bodybuilding prep, after being so lean and dieted and put under so much stress is like a sponge. It will absorb everything you give it. So if you suddenly jump to a caloric surplus, just straight away giving your body so much food, it will hold on to a lot of excess body fat. This is why my approach and the way we went about it with my coach, what we thought was best is just to have that, as I said, have that little bit of a jump up to maintenance, or what we maybe thought maintenance could be, because obviously that is a number that can't be just calculated like that after a bodybuilding prep. So we took it slowly, obviously a few hundred calories, and just we let my body just do its thing and see how it reacts to that amount of food and how much more it needs. But that seemed to be a good set point. I held my weight for a while, but as I said, the body is like a sponge. This is why if you give yourself a good few days off plan, if you eat a lot of food post show for consecutive days, your body will just hold on to it all, because keep in mind, it's been starved. It's like you were in starvation. Your body was being starved for weeks, for months, however long your prep was. So when you suddenly give it food, it's like, oh, she's feeding me again. Okay, I need to hold on to this before she starts starving me again. So this is why we need to do everything very slowly and be very careful. But it is also very important to note that putting weight on is necessary. Your stage physique serves one purpose, and the stage is that purpose. That is its only purpose. I know it looks cool to be walking around shredded, coming into the gym, seeing lines and veins everywhere. It's cool, but it's not sustainable. It's not healthy. And just like I said, that physique serves one purpose, which is the stage. And once the stage is done, our main focus is to get back to a healthy body fat where your hormones start balancing out again. Many of my competitors here will know how imbalanced your hormones become on prep. Most of us, unfortunately, do lose our menstrual cycles, and the only way to get that back is by bringing your food back up, putting on some healthy weight, increasing those body fat levels, so your body gets to a state where it's like, yeah, she's feeding me again, I'm looking healthy, I'm feeling healthy, now give me more food. Now, the next point that I really want to emphasize is the importance of sticking to your plan in the first few weeks, really. The first 4 to 6, even 8 weeks, I have to say for me it was closer to the 8 weeks, you're going to be hungry. A lot of the time you're going to be more hungry than you were on prep eating sub 1,000 calories, and that is because obviously you don't have that date in mind anymore. There is no number you're chasing on the scale. You don't need to be dropping body fat. So it just kind of plays with your mind. It's like a switch kind of turns off where you're like, yeah, I'm not in prep anymore. I can eat whatever I want. But the thing is that will set you up for such a bad off season. Trust me, I have been there last year. Last year I had no structure, no plan. I started binge eating. I put on 20 kilos in my off season, and no, it was not 20 kilos of muscle, which just led to a very difficult prep this year. And that is my main goal this year, to have the most structured off season that I can, so I can make all the improvements that I want to make, and to have somewhat of an easier prep. In my opinion, having a plan and sticking to that plan is so important post show, and sticking with your coach. I see so many people just dropping their coach post show, where the first few weeks they're harder than prep, and I feel like you just need someone there to guide you, because it's going to be very tough. You're going to be hungry, but it's those days where you have to sit down and really listen to yourself. You're like, am I really hungry, or is my mind just playing with me? Is it real hunger, or is it cravings? Sticking to a plan is just so crucial. Now, I had my plan made out, as I said, before I even stepped on stage. And when I got back home, I just got straight onto that plan, and I ate what was on it. I didn't go switching things around, because I knew that would lead me down a slippery slope as well, including fun foods too quickly. The main focus was to feed my hunger. I needed to realize that the things that I want are just cravings, and my body doesn't actually need them. It just needs to be fed nutritious meals, nutritious food, things that will help me get healthy again. So as I said, I had a plan, and I followed it down to a T for I think 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, I did not go off plan. I just ate what was on my meal plan. I didn't have any cheat meals, any cheat days, any treats. But I did include foods that I liked in my plan. I was back eating bowls of oats, cream of rice, fruit, rice cakes, things I did really miss in prep. But I was eating foods that I knew sit well with my stomach, and that will somewhat satisfy that hunger. Now, I still did go to bed hungry every single night, but I knew that was going to be part of it. The first 4 weeks, you're gonna be hungry. Like, there is no way around it, but sticking through it. You just have to stick through it, trust the process, and it will all fall into place. It will all come together. Your hunger levels will settle, your cravings will settle, and that's when the improvement season really starts. So now, being 8 weeks post show, I can say I am not hungry anymore. I am completely content with the amount of food I have, which just keeps going up anyway. There are some days I'm actually struggling to get that food down. And I can also include things like a meal out or a treat here and there, and I know it won't cause any damage, but I will get into that a little later when I talk you through my protocols right now. So I do have some tips and tricks on how to stick through it, really, because as I said, it's difficult. And I know, being post-show, you're not in prep, you just want to eat. Let's face it, you just want to eat. You want to eat all the food you can have during prep, and you just want to relax and chill and have fun. But sometimes these things do have to wait. And a key factor for me was routine and discipline. You know, I spent 25 weeks in a prep with a very strict regime, a very strict routine. I was very disciplined. And I wanted to carry that on into my off season, especially the beginning. So what I did was I created myself a new routine. You know, like in prep, I was basically following the same routine day in, day out. It was get up, do my fasted cardio, get ready for work, go to the gym, do more cardio, posing, all of that jazz. So I made sure I somewhat stuck to that right after the show as well. So even now, being 2 months post show, I still have cardio. It's not 2 hours anymore. It's only 4 times a week for 20 minutes. But as I said, it keeps me in that routine. So I know on 4 days a week, I have to get up and I have to do my cardio just like I did on prep, which sets me up for such a good day. because I already got up, I ticked one of my boxes, and I was ready to keep ticking those boxes for the rest of the day. Whereas if I like slept in and just went straight to work, I'd be groggy and I just wouldn't be in that routine. But now also that I have more time in the morning, I could add more things to my routine, like reading, journaling, and I've really, really been enjoying that, especially because post-show is very difficult on the mental side of things. Let's face it, we're losing those lines, we're losing that definition, we're putting on body fat, our bodies are starting to change, our clothes are starting to feel a little different, they're starting to fit a bit different. We might not be as confident going to the gym. We might be a bit bloated some of the days because, not that we're eating too much, but maybe just including new foods that our body needs and getting used to. And it can be very, very difficult to deal with. I know I am struggling with it myself a little bit. You know, I am 4 kilos above my stage weight right now. Which is very good for 8 weeks. I am so happy with the rate of gaining and everything, but it's still very hard to see my stage physique go. But as I said, it is so necessary. But this is where the mind and controlling your mindset is so important. You know, it's all in your head. You feel like you've put on kilos and kilos where some people might not even notice you put on any weight at all. So you just have to accept that your stage body did its job and now it's time to make improvements. The off season is all about improving. It's about putting on muscle and getting strong and getting healthy, and you cannot do that without putting on some body fat and eating more and getting a little bit bigger, but obviously in a controlled state. You just need to basically work on shifting your mindset from chasing numbers on the scales, from chasing a show date to chasing gains. You know, we don't want to be so dieted. We don't want to be so skinny, especially as females. Like, we need to embrace our curves and we need to work our asses off in that gym to get them. So the only way to do that is by eating more. And yeah, coming back to routine, as I said, get up in the morning, I still do my cardio, I still go to work and I go to the gym like I always have. I still take time to meal prep, I'm still sticking to a meal plan. So basically, especially the first few weeks where, as I said, your body is so sensitive to everything, it's so sensitive to change, you don't actually want to change too much. So staying in that routine really helped me. Like, I basically treated the first few weeks like prep. I even said it to my coach, it's like, I want this off season to be like prep, just with more food, more energy, more strength, and a bit more life balance, because obviously I am not in prep. I do want to enjoy life as well, which I have done, but not straight away, because you need to remember, yeah, food is great, but it'll always be there. You don't need to have everything you've been craving in one day, especially if you have like a year of an off season. Like, you have a year to get around to everything you want to do, and just give yourself the time to let your body settle, and then you can enjoy everything in moderation. So now that I've kind of covered the main points of reverse dieting, so now I will talk you through how my off season has been looking. Things are absolutely amazing. So yeah, I basically just stuck it out. Honestly, no other way. I sucked it up and I pushed through it, and it really paid off. I'm at a point now, I am 8 weeks post show, and I'm between 4.5 kilos above my stage weight. My calories are high. They're the highest they've ever been for me in a controlled state, because if you've watched my previous videos, you know my last off season was very difficult. I was binging daily and I just had no structure to it. So this is my first properly structured off season, and I have to say I've absolutely nailed it. So from eating, I'm actually going to say it now, I was eating 700 calories at the end of my prep. Right now I'm eating nearly 2,500 on a training day, and I've basically been maintaining my weight for the last 2 weeks. So it just shows, like, if you gradually do it, your body just, like with each adjustment in my diet, we give my body like a week to get used to it, and then it's ready to just keep pushing. And so with this amount of food, I am feeling great. I have so much energy, even at work. Everybody has noticed that the old Olivia has come back. She's smiling again. She has the energy. She's running around at work like crazy. And I'm definitely putting that food to good use. My gym sessions have been incredible. I am loving training again. I am so strong. I have so much energy. Like in prep, I was so tired going to the gym because I train after work. So I was already done before I even got to the gym. And now I'm after a whole shift at work and I'm still buzzing to train. No pre-workouts, no energy drinks, just coffee. But you know I'm a barista, so that's not going anywhere. But no pre-workouts, no energy drinks, and I'm increasing my lifts with every single session. I have so much more strength in the gym. The numbers have basically doubled. So after the show, for the first week, I kind of just trained how I liked, just to kind of find the love for training again. And then I was given a new training plan by my coach, and I really dropped the weight on everything just to correct my form and make sure I'm lifting properly, lifting with correct form and technique and tempo. So I basically dropped the numbers very low, but in these 8 weeks now, they have literally doubled, and they're just on the rise session to session. So I'm absolutely loving training right now. And I know exactly what improvements I want to make for next year. I know I have to bring up my glutes and my hamstrings. So we do have a lot of leg work and a lot of volume in my training. I have a lot of training techniques implemented, like drop sets, rest pauses, supersets. I'm also on very high rep ranges for certain exercises, or a mixture of low and high, just to really get the most out of that volume. So my sessions are very long, but I love them because I have very serious goals for this season coming. Now, I have about 20 weeks of this off season left now until prep starts again. That is 20 weeks to improve. That is 20 weeks to put in as much work as I can to make the most amount of improvements that I can to be competitive on stage next year, to not stand at the end of a second call-out line ever again. You know, next year I am going for those top placings. I will be standing center stage. And no, I'm not being cocky. I'm just believing in myself, because if you believe you can do it, you can do it. You know, post-show, I was so scared for post-show. I was so scared I would mess up again. I would go downhill and I would start binging again. But I believed I wouldn't do it. I believed in myself that I have what it takes to really nail this phase. And I have. And right now I need to believe in myself that I can be competitive in this sport, that I can win, that I can get a pro card whenever that time comes. So I'm not being cocky. I'm just believing in myself, because if I don't believe in myself, I can't expect others to believe in me either. So to not bore you any longer, I'm going to sum this up. I hope this was very informative to some of you. I hope I helped some maybe future competitors that wanted to have a bit of an insight into how a reverse looks, how important it is, because trust me, reversing out of your show is just so important. It sets you up for the off season itself. I hope I have helped some maybe competitors that have been struggling with putting on weight and dealing with having to put that weight on, shifting that mindset from a fat loss to a muscle gaining phase. And I just hope you enjoyed my little talk here in my pink chair again. If there's any more topics you'd like me to discuss, please drop them in the comments. If you've made it this far in the video, please give it a like. Hit the subscribe button. It would honestly mean the world to me, because I want to keep putting videos out there. I'm sorry if this was a bit all over the place. I was actually very nervous sitting down to this, and I feel like I've said everything, but then I know once I turn that camera off, or once I upload the video, I'm probably gonna get a load of ideas that I could have put in here, but that might come in a future video then. I will leave it here, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stick around for the rest of the video. I still have 2 meals to eat today that I will show you, and I also need to start packing, because I told you before I have a little trip coming up, which I will vlog, so I won't be mentioning anything in this vlog. It'll be quite a surprise. It's something we have not done before on this channel, something I haven't done in a very long time. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you in the next clip when I'm making my cream of rice. So, welcome back to my kitchen. Ignore all the background noise. There's a lot going on in the house right now with my mom moving in. This meal is very simple and just includes a lot of powders. So we've got 60 grams of cream of rice in peanut butter cup flavor, alongside 15 or 20, I can't remember, I need to double check, grams of whey. So I've gotten this whey from Perform in white chocolate hazelnut flavor. It tastes like white Kinder Bueno. It is absolutely amazing. So many people were raving about it and I get the hype. Little plug-in. These supplements are all from MyCore Supplements. Link will be in the description and you can use code Olivia, my name, for a nice 10% discount on all the supplements. I highly recommend. I get all my supplements from them. Next day delivery. And yeah, these are hard to come across. They're always out of stock everywhere, so keep your eyes peeled and get them ASAP. Along this we have, so my plan says 20 grams of Biscoff, but I am free to alternate between Biscoff and nut butter or this Nut Love spread, which is very good. It's in a latte flavor, it's just a protein spread. But what I do is I usually just mix and match, bit of everything until I make up 20 grams. Obviously in prep, this would not be taking place. I would not be swapping and changing or doing a bit of this, bit of that, just because macros are so important and having everything to the gram. But now with the amount of food I'm eating, being in an off season, as I said, I've had that bit more flexibility. And this is what I mean by flexibility and balance. I'm including things like Biscoff, which I love, and it's a fun food. It literally serves no nutritional purpose. But it keeps me happy and I love it and I enjoy it. But alongside that, I do have some healthier fats in the form of nut butter. 60 grams of cream of rice. 60? Crucial. The perfect way to make cream of rice. I see a lot of people putting in water first, powder first, mixing it, microwaving it. So many methods. But my secret to perfect cream of rice is a whisk. So I put in 60 grams there. I'm going to cover with water. Put in a bit more than you think it needs. And if it gets a bit too watery, you can just pop it in the microwave and it'll fluff it up again. But I put in a decent amount of water. I'll show you now. So I pour in a good bit of water. Now, this much. And then the secret is to whisk it really quickly. And when it's at this consistency, I will add a tiny bit more water. And keep whisking, and it'll just keep absorbing the water. And as I said, if it gets too watery, you can just pop it back in the microwave and it'll fluff it up again. Now my cameraman John had to leave, so we're gonna have to make do with one hand now. 15 grams of whey. 15 grams. And I'm going to make this into a paste to pour on top of the cream of rice. So what you're going to need is a pink baby spoon, essential, and just a splash of water. So a bit of water, and I'm gonna mix it up with my baby spoon until it turns into a thick paste. And just like that, we have the perfect consistency. This is how thick I like my paste. I know some people like it more runny. I literally like it more like a spread rather than a paste. How I weigh out my nut butter and everything, it might seem like such a simple process. You'll see a lot of people just spooning it and then weighing it on top of the cream of rice. But what you do is you put your nut butters on the scale, you zero the scale, and then whatever you take out, it'll show up as a minus. So then whatever is left on the spoon, it's already tracked in and weighed out, so you can lick it off the spoon. Then we're going into the Biscoff spread. And we get 2 more grams. I'm gonna go back into the nut butter. 20. And then whatever is left on the spoon. I can just lick it off because it's tracked in. And I'm just putting my whey paste on top. I nearly forgot about it. Now I am in an absolute state after taking a boiling hot shower. So I will get straight into what food I'm eating to end today. Perform has once again entered the game with caramel biscuit flavor this time. So that's 60 grams of oats that I soaked in boiling water for a couple of hours. Then I added in my whey. We've got 100 grams of berries of choice. We've got strawberries and blueberries today. Along with, normally I'd have 20 grams of this dark chocolate, salted caramel, the best. However, as you saw in Costa, I told you I tracked in a little treat today. And I didn't have it because I thought saving it for my oats would be even better. So we only get 5 grams of this chocolate today. Make up the rest of the macros with a Lindor. Most of my meals have nut butter because I absolutely love nut butter. Even my coach said he's never seen anybody so obsessed with it. So we've got smooth nut butter and nut love. So that's the same spread as I used earlier on, but a different flavor. I have like 4 flavors in the cupboard. They are so good. This literally tastes like a Raffaello. I'm gonna put this all together, show you the final product, and that will be it for the day. And by the way, the most important part of this video, my doggo moved back in alongside my mom and James. But I've got my beautiful bowl of oats. I'm gonna eat it up and head to bed. Can we just take a moment for this Lindor? I've been waiting for it all day. Yes, Mom, a Lindor, you heard me right. Good morning, YouTube. It is the next morning and it is still very early, but I'm just getting ready for work. As you can see, Christmas has officially started at work, but I refuse to wear a Christmas jumper. So this will have to do. I just thought I'd outro the video here. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I eat. I hope you enjoyed the full day of eating. Now, I know I never mentioned, actually completely forgot just to tell you where the macros were at for the day. So I'm going to pull them up now. So it was a rest day, as I said. So the whole day came to 125 grams of protein, 244-ish carbs, 53 fat, and obviously that latte on top of it, because as I said, I only tracked the little gingerbread man and the Lindor, and I got sugar-free syrup in the coffee, so that didn't have to be tracked. But I didn't actually track the milk and the cream, just as a little weekend treat. But I hope you enjoyed seeing what I eat, and I definitely hope you enjoyed and maybe found it informative, the little chat I did, the explanation about the reverse dieting, and just speaking openly about my protocols. If there's any other topics you'd like me to touch on, please leave them down in the comments and I will be sure to try my best to answer your queries. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, drop me a comment if you want to interact, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. I have a very exciting video coming up next week, as I am going to a very special place and I want to film the whole experience. I'm going away for 5 days. I'm not going to say where. So please stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Ciao!